Greetings and salutations. Welcome to another rousing episode of In the Shadow of the White City. We will be beginning very shortly. Tonight's wonderful episode for season 4 will be Chaos Does Not Mean Total Disorder. Greetings, Frost. How we doing?
Testing 1, 2, 3.
You're a little staticky, but you're still there, and it's so extraordinarily low for yourself. Still suffering with a sore throat?
Oh, not really.
So then why forever art thou silent?
Oh, I'm silent?
Yeah, you're a little low.
Because you just don't have ears.
Oh, I beg to differ. There are too many high school and later pictures proving that is in the antithesis of the truth.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Okay.
That is considerably a little clearer, but I also did turn up my volume another notch to go deaf to hear you.
The check thing. I should sound fine.
There are lots of things that should, but on an attributive note, how did this week's Fall of London go?
Because I was sick, so I wasn't able to read the.
So you let a little thing like pain keep you down?
Yeah, I did. Because I didn't even think about Fall of London while I was sick.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I suppose everyone gets one. We will allow that to stand as yours. Oh no, now my ears have SARS.
Now your ears have sores. What? SARS?
SARS.
The fuck is a SAR?
SARS is a disease, an infectious, contagious disease.
Because I just coughed?
Yes.
Wow. Oh, I just gave you COVID.
Well, I wasn't going to go that light, but okay, fine.
I was joking. By the way, I have to leave an hour early than usual.
Okay, so do me a favor, set your clock back 1 hour.
What do you mean?
Your clock. Hey Zach, how we doing? We're convincing Frost to set his clock back 1 hour.
What does that even mean? How do you set a clock back 1 hour?
Oh my god.
I don't really understand that nonsense myself.
Oh my lord.
Who would think they can have a longer blanket by cutting off one end and sewing it onto the other? That's the kind of logic people are using when they do that.
Good God.
What?
Oh my goodness.
I think nobody's revealing to us that he's a lot older than I thought.
No, you're proving that you are lacking in several fundamental ideals. It is... Oh my God, who has been teaching you all? I need to find them and beat them within an inch of your life.
Good luck.
Wait, what?
Both of my parents are ex-military.
Excellent.
So are mine.
That is a very, very good thing. That means I know how they think. I know their training. Wait, do they go Air Force, Marine, Army, or Navy? Don't say Coast Guard.
Neither of
Don't
them are
say
at
Coast Guard,
liberty to
agreed.
discuss the details with me.
Excellent. Then I know exactly who they might be. And you said you were in the Upper Peninsula, correct? Excellent. Good. Now, if you look out your window, you'll see. No, never mind. Don't look out your window. Don't look out your window.
Which window?
Window? Your base window? Like that kind of window?
You, my friend.
My room has 2 windows, so you're gonna have to be more specific.
Just remember, there is a drive from where you are now to your school. And somewhere along that path, there is a gray, slate gray Tesla. Not you. We're speaking about Frost. On his drive towards school, there is a slate gray Tesla that will pick you up.
I don't trust any Teslas that come near me.
Evening, folks. How art thou? How is everyone?
I am thou. Thou art I.
On my way to school. I drive to school.
Sorry, I've been playing way too much.
No one.
lately.
You're gonna slam into me?
No, that would be too simple to explain. I mean, no, that wouldn't happen. Can you hear anybody, Seth?
Okay, hold on.
We were all just each showing our age.
No, we were not showing our age. You were showing the failure of the American education system.
God damn it, Discord.
That's true. The American
That usually
education
happens.
system sucks ass.
Yeah, it did not prepare
Okay,
me
Discord.
for college at all.
I'm in college right now.
I was gonna say something in French, but I only know a little.
Oui? That's all I know. That's all the French I know.
Parlez-vous ponté? Je parle français.
Ich bin Batman.
Je parle un peu français.
Why can't everyone speak French in this Discord server?
Lived in Africa. I lived in West Africa.
Not me.
Well, in my case,
good.
when the wind hits the steel
I
mill
lived
just
in
right,
West
you
Africa.
can
They
smell
required me
Canada
to take
from
French
where
for
I live.
2.5 years.
Mm.
Still can't spell it.
Neither can they, if it
I learned
helps.
French by junior year of high school.
A little, actually, it does. Okay, who am I today?
That is the question we all ask more often than we should.
Which persona should I assume
For
to
us
get rid
today.
of this shadow? And my nerd is showing again. Sorry about that. Wrong game.
There it is.
Could be worse though. I could be referencing Genshin Impact.
What is this witchcraft you're speaking? It makes no sense. But all the same, I want to thank you all for being here so early. We have an opportunity before us that we have rarely held in our lifetimes. We have the opportunity to shoot the shit temporarily to answer any questions. That means if you preface it with an out-of-character bit of information that will not impact your character, the sky is the limit. And if you ask a question that will impact your in-character decisions or the world from your character's viewpoint, I will gladly notify you. Otherwise, do we have any questions, suggestions, hypotheses, corners we need to round off, or any other such?
When I tear that guy's head off and stuff it down his neck, are you going to hold it against me?
Okay.
His head? That would be disgusting.
never mind. Yeah. Can we like kill that dude, please? Like right now?
The dude that is going to slowly torture you for the rest of your existence? Maybe.
Yeah, that dude. The dude that.
Wouldn't that
will torture
endanger
me.
ourselves in the process though?
Yes, it would.
I don't care. I want his head off his body.
Well, Zach did just try to, in the last episode, so what else could possibly go wrong?
Sam, I am.
The thing is, he made a deal that as long as he is within the club, he is to remain safe and unharmed, and that we are to protect him. That is the point I am trying to make. As long as he remains inside the club, it is considered an Elysium for him. So what we need to do is
lure him outside.
Out of the club. And it can't be right near it either, because then technically Elysiums within that area are considered still safe. So we need to get him elsewhere where bad things can happen to him.
Just, as a point of order, two things. Seth doesn't know about the deal and is heavily armed.
He will be made aware.
And point number two, Elysium works both ways. He can't harm any of us, or he breaks Elysium.
Which he was quickly checked.
We already did.
Because when he attacked Frost and made him hurt, Dia checked his ass and made him back off.
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
Defense doesn't count for Elysium.
If he gets froggy, I'm going to jump. Yeah, it's a southern saying. If you're feeling froggy, jump. It means
my dad said that all the time. He went to high school.
I've never heard this saying before.
It's okay. We understand, Frost. Because.
Yeah.
It ain't nothing but an opportunity.
Californian?
I'm living in a rather
Are you being racist towards me?
myself.
No, we're being ageist. It's totally different.
Wow.
Yeah.
I find it funny. You guys be
down, children.
Like kids today be like real mean to me, saying I'm real old, and then you guys be like, "You're way young."
All right, Zoomer, settle down.
Zoomer.
Okay.
You did not just call me a Zoomer. I feel violated.
Children.
Only lovingly.
I'm gonna go full Gen Z then. I'm offended. I'm joking.
23.
I'm Gen X. I don't care.
I will be 23 next month, and yet right now I'm acting like the most mature person here.
Well, the question still remains: are there any other questions? Or do we have any plans, plots, anything we'd like to share with the group? Anything
That
like
made very clear what he was doing after he met him.
So, what's his name's on the second floor of the building, right?
Whom?
The guy we want to kill?
No.
First floor?
He's in the VIP area in Zach's room.
So, first floor?
No. The first floor is the main floor. The sub-level, the former speakeasy, operated previously by the Primogen known as Von Evan, which was taken over by Nicole and turned into the Pisketeers, which has been taken over by Dia. Well, it's come to Dia because they are the next in line in regards to receiving that endowment. And the sub-level, the former speakeasy, is where the VIP section is. The first floor, i.e. the main floor, is the floor that all of the neighborhood people and the locals who are not of any significant power are where is the Pisketeers. The VIP, i.e. the sub-level, has several differing links and maze-like structures of egress for those with power, money, prestige who wish to enter into the services provided by Dia and Nicole without being noticed or being able to be tracked by those outside of the Pisketeers.
Yeah, the only reason why I quickly asked if he was upstairs or downstairs is because I could just, ram that APC into the and just collapse it.
Yeah, let's not collapse anything this time.
So you're aiming to destroy the Pisketeers Lounge? Interesting.
No, I've
Oh,
always been able to
Dia would
destroy
kill you.
anything I'd put my hands on. I know Dia would kill me. Be like, why? Just why?
Not a drive-through window.
Anything with that APC is a drive-through window.
Well,
Frost deems it necessary.
Okay, so Seth met Smiley. So Zach knows that Seth is back.
yes. Did anyone actually listen to Seth's one shot yet?
He made me go full brogue. It's worth a listen.
Storyteller, I checked on our friend and they are on their way.
Excellent. On their way is a very good thing. And for the record, before we officially begin, everyone, Muzan, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Greetings.
Ohayou gozaimasu.
All
Can I
right.
get a sound level from you, Muzan? Just speak in your normal talking voice. Moose.
Yes, hello. Speaking, testing, 1, 2, 3.
Let me turn
Okay,
you
now I
Alpha,
hear
Lambda,
you.
Delta. Okay.
think right about there. That should be good.
Major
Sure.
tone.
He was peeking out a little.
Hey now, this is a kid show.
Yeah, right.
Isn't Zach basically raped, kind of, in the last episode?
No, Zach had their heart torn out by Frost, and in the traumatic events of the spell that was taking place by Frost, and in the traumatic events thereafter.
Their child's heart out. I didn't rip Zach's heart out.
All right, Frost. So that you understand the emotional impact of what took place. You were gifted a puppy by surprise, and your brother stomped it out in front of you. That's what Frost did to Zach.
Holy shit, that's brutal, bro.
That's what Frost did in his rage and in pushing forth the all too close aspects of his newly found beast. In his cruelty, the thought for anyone and anything else dissipated. The acts and level of how severely he emotionally impacted his coterie mate could not be more exaggerated than what it actually is. The facts of it, the feelings of it, what opened the doorway for fate to reach in and ensure that Zach's role to resist, even with the delayed action of doing so, were doomed to fail. The heavy weight of having gifted someone immortality and then having it torn from them in a manner that would break the heart of even Mephistopheles himself. You have to remember, beating someone to death with claws is not a soft and quiet thing. It's not a sniper round from several hundred meters away. It's not a drone flying overhead. It is akin to watching two dogs rip apart a small defenseless animal. And even then, it would be an understatement for how vicious it is, being there, smelling it, watching it happen, and knowing that if you moved a hair faster, put yourself in the way a hair sooner, there was the opportunity. That's what Frost wreaked on Zach.
Okay, so, but yeah, I just want to make sure, are my final actions in the play-by-post canon?
your final actions of making it to the car and rifling through it to begin destroying everything that you found that was utilized for spellcraft and spell work? Oh, most assuredly. Here's the thing. And the thing that occurs as you watch the last bits of clues and evidence. None of those implements, none of those tools, none of those readily available spell components were used for this.
Oh no, I'm just denying him because the only person who has any spell components in the building is either him on his person or me. So I'm denying him access to these because I don't know what he can do with them because I can't do any of that shit. But I'm going to make sure he doesn't get to show me what he's able to do with it. It's just denial of the flank. I'm not trying to figure anything out. I'm just making sure that he has fewer tools readily available to him.
Oh.
And I'm going to feed him the fucking knife. I swear to God. I'm going to find out what this is.
So.
Oh, and this is...
someone's at my door. I'm going to be AFK.
This is out of character. This is player. My regent is in there, isn't he? Somewhere.
He is. You didn't make it around to the front of the building, but yes, he and Dia are leaving now, concocting a plan of attack to undo, and if push comes to shove, to simply brute force this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, fortunately, other than the big fucking gun, all of my options, he's got defenses for. Because he's going to be better at magic than I am. One of these times, I am going to min-max a fucking Tremere, and I'm going to kick ass up and down the fucking sidewalk.
Tremere already are min-maxed.
Not when I build one.
All right.
A cult of one.
If you really want to ruin someone's day, I'm just saying, Oblivion is one hell of a discipline.
No, Blood Sorcery 5, the one that boils kindred blood in the vein, causing aggravated damage the whole time. Oh, it makes me happy inside just to think about it.
Dear.
Unfortunately, I have on another life been on the other end of that blood boiling situation, and it is not fun at all.
Yeah,
my first Tremere. My first Tremere was disgusting. It was V2 Thaumaturgy with the Path of Fire. So not only did I have the blood boiling skill, I had Conflagration, which was the level 4 version of Path of Fire. I could look at somebody and they would burst into flame. They started taking aggravated damage, and anybody around them had to make Rorschach tests. And I was immune to Rorschach tests. So I could hold a lighter. So I could watch people burn alive and then explode their blood, because I was a rat bastard.
Speaking of rats,
sheriff for 3 months.
Speaking of rats and bastards, Muzan, few things to bring you more up to speed. I'm sure you've taken as many opportunities as you can to skim and listen to some of the other episodes to bring yourself up to date, but just as a quick dive in, as it were, the associates of Thornton Township, they are a loose band of associates gathered around the senator, most recent, the senator de jure of Dalton. And I'm sure you remember that Dalton has itself declared themselves independent, neither tower nor unaligned, neither sword nor any step in between. As such, it gives them a lot of leeway and a lot of interactions with a varying stripe of individual. There are representatives from the Free and Independent Republic of Riverdale. There are occasionally visitors from as far away as Gary, as far south as Indianapolis. There are even occasionally people from the far southwestern cities and suburbs of Illinois. Dalton, much like Gary, is a crumbling wreck of its former self. Unlike Gary, they at least make sure that they, keep the upkeep. They make sure that none of the skeletons in the closets are showing. It is by dint of its hardworking drive, one of the largest and most populous realms of independent ownership. There are more owners, CEOs, proprietors per capita than anywhere else in the entirety of the state and the majority of the Midwest. The township, Dalton, is ruled with a velvety iron grip by the city's Dom, the village's Dom, Dom Geneva. Your most easily accessible senator is Olivia, and she is the senator for infrastructure, you might say. She's also one of the few openly known Nosferatu township. There are others, but they're far less interactive with the village as a whole. Through your relationships with McLaren and your services offered over time, you've come to know a few of the warlocks, and they're not many, but they're growing as if some change, some upheaval has happened within the chantry. And because of that change, because of that upheaval, because of that growth, things are not what they should be. Your relatively solitude and peace has been interrupted on multiple evenings where you've had to eschew politeness and drive away those seeking various implements, those seeking bones of local saints, those seeking to occasionally overturn certain resting places for tools and implements. You've seen it happen far more often than it should, and the opportunities for discovery coming more and more. There are more and more warlocks or warlock-like beings who seek out the remnants of the dead for their various spellcraft. But on that happy note, we will have Muzan dive into the scene at a dramatically appropriate moment. But for the record, I want to thank you guys each and all. It's always a pleasure to get a chance to play. And the time that we share has its own inherent value to me. As such, for the record, this is officially In the Shadow of the White City, episode 6, season 4. Chaos does not mean total disorder. Now, when we last left our coterie, each of them had the opportunity of being up close and personal with a self-declared regent, Antonio Caballarci, most recently of Gary. The reason for his flight is anyone's guess. Luckily, due to him having planned ahead as quickly and overwhelmingly as he did, having shunted Seth and Bajid away from the Pisketeers in an attempt to deprive Nicole, which turns out to be Dia, because he's not as abreast of all of the events happening in Dalton as he had believed elsewhere. He had negotiated a temporary armistice, a peace between himself and the owner of the Pisketeers, so that it can act as a mutual Elysium. Those protected by Dia cannot be physically harmed, and those protected by him are the people protected by Dia, meaning that he is untouchable so long as he remains inside the Pisketeers. His spell work and spellcraft done hastily planned with overwhelming efficacy, have seemingly won him not only the day, but the time alone. Zach. So far, as anyone can tell, the only one immediately broken up over the death of their child. Zach, who was beset by the full weight of several spells hurled in their direction, suffering the emotional drowning of depression. Only floating to the surface, far too late to be of any effect to anything that had happened, save offering themselves as blood sacrifice to keep Frost alive. So we pick up with Dia. Exiting the first floor, their bartender having trailed along just behind them, 7-8 feet behind, bringing up the rear as a handmaiden, as it were, awed by Dia's display of vampiric presence, as Dia escorts Regent Rich out to his car. Well, Senator, it is always eventful. Hopefully next time it will not be as eventful, and I'll begin work on finding a solution to your situation.
Well, obviously, it's most affecting to me, but I'm sure it also affects you, seeing as how someone of such power in your domain. It's kind of a problem, isn't it?
The power of the sword is in the I'm sure you'll realize.
Well, let's just say then that his shield can be fairly faulty, as best as I can make it. Wish you a good rest of the evening, Regent. I have matters to clean up, unfortunately. Thank you for your help otherwise.
But of course, and when you find McClure, please do have. We have things to discuss.
I will do. So. And then she kind of nods and turns on her heel and heads back inside, cornering the bartender, who is still probably awed.
There are moments when you wish so very much that the effects of emotionally bombarding others didn't have such a double-edged effect. You have prepared a speech, you have prepared a way to mitigate everything that she potentially have seen mentally. You laid the plan out, there are steps to follow. It's almost as easy as painting by numbers, but watching her face as her hope against the darkness that she witnessed compound and fight with the fact that she is wholly and completely entranced by you against her will. There are tears unshed, dancing in her eyes and catching the light. If you were melodramatically stereotypical, the artistic way that the unshed tears catches the light and dances, changing the color of her eyes as it does so, reflecting the neons and the pain therein, you'd stop and make her hold that emotion long enough for you to paint it. Luckily, you're not that melodramatic, nor that stereotypical, because the cruelty inherent in that, the cruelty in recognizing just how beautiful she is, even more so now in this naked, unvarnished battle of wills between her hope, entrancement, and the pure, abject horror she has suffered. Nothing like looking on the animal, savaged body of a friend.
I think you're going to need a couple days, darling. Why don't I give you a paid vacation of 2 nights, and when you return, we can talk about that raise you wanted, that leveling up, as you would say. How does that sound?
The smile is forced, but there's some truth to it. Far more truth than should be in this situation. Her avarice and need to escape her abject forced poverty. Not that she doesn't make a significant amount of cash, but there's an old aphorism. Quickly earned, faster spent. And that has been the lifestyle and cycle of gain and loss that she's been suffering under. She nods happily, far too happily, in direct measure to her own scarring. And you can see her faltering, torn between what she normally would do, the gushing, the hugging, the touching, and a realization, a painful realization. Unlike Nicole, Dia rarely blushes. Unlike Nicole, there isn't a bit of behind the scenes shown to the workers upstairs, showing how the change from everyday social southern charm to the regality that those downstairs are accustomed to. Dia is always Dia. And there's a gear sliding into place, one that's clearly been missing all of these months that she's worked, that finally slides into place. And it's clear. She understands more than she can probably ever voice.
Dia, very carefully, so as not to spook them, reaches out for their face and cups it, tipping their chin up. It takes some getting used to, I know. Honestly. But once you accept things as they are, once the wool has been ripped from your eyes, it allows you to expand your mind into the possibility that there are myriad opportunity for someone such as yourself. Kissing her on the forehead. Now, again, I suggest you head home, get some rest. I will close up. You are no longer needed tonight, and I will see you in 2 days with a check.
Okay. Instead of a check, could you put it on the pay card we have?
As you wish. And while you take your rest, I would suggest you look for some more revealing clothing. Something a little more high-end for working downstairs, because that clientele has a certain amount of taste.
She smiles, nodding her head. I just got my Hot Topic credit card.
Oh, darling. Yes, I'm sure that will start a wonderful wardrobe, but I'm sure I have somebody I can send you shopping with eventually. For now, though, Hot Topic sounds fine. Evening. Shoo.
And she slides along on her way. And as you ensure that she manages to make it to her car, you lock the front door and turn to begin heading downstairs. Just as Dia closes the door and turns, we turn our eye towards Frost, who is sitting 3 feet from the remains. The former kindred, shirtless and blood splattered. The truth of the matter is, Antonio is an ass. Not only is he an ass, he is an ass that, while he doesn't have fuck you magic, it is very close. And that's a lot to deal with. During your breathing days, during your living days, during the days when you had the wool safely over your eyes, only seeing the small sliver of light shone, Seth, into how monstrous kindred society was and is, You only had to worry about bullets. Yeah, the kindred were big, bad monsters of the dark. But the truth of the matter is you felt safe knowing that you had enough bullets to drown the world in. You have an armored personnel carrier as your vehicle. You had a kindred buddy who would throw his body in the way of anything that was really damaged. And most importantly, you had the ability to do more than just hold a cup of coffee. A good cup of Joe.
Can't drink my coffee anymore.
Now all those things have faded away. You have the rest of forever gifted to you in the blood of a over-the-hill, strangely honorable, Viking-esque biker. A last-ditch effort to maintain the peace, to keep his word, to prove his loyalty to his newfound coterie, his newfound family that he died for. And in his death and in yours, you are here. And nothing is safe. Not even you. Looking at your hands still covered and soaked in the freshly created vitae.
I would lick it off my hands, but I wouldn't want to be bonded possibly with someone.
Well, the owner of the vitae is no longer living. There's no...
Yes, but it could also mean I get bonded to Zach.
And what gives you that erroneous idea? Has anyone said something about bonds to Frost in the last 2 days?
Not the last 2 days, but when he knows a bit about bondings because he talked to Seth about it and how does Shamir have a hard time bonding with people.
But Seth meant socially.
Actually, with him, with Frost, Seth was very clear that Tremere blood does not take the bond, the kindred bond, very well. That's why I fed him my blood as payment more often than not, because it was not as potent in that area as other kindred. I was trying to protect him.
Yes, so much protection. We'll get to you in a moment. But in the moment, that love of vitae sticking to your hand. And while it's a disgusting idea, the very real urge to sample that willingly, instead of having the beast act through you, is a very difficult thing to not do. Knowing what you know about bonding, and kindred vitae has the ability to make you someone else's footstool, and the risk inherent, the potential inherent, still is not enough to outshine the full gloss and glow that the vitae clinging to your flesh has. 2 days as a kindred and you've already killed another kindred. If the lessons on the bond had been presented, most assuredly one of the most inviolable laws of kindred society had been imprinted, and that is destruction. Not just the masquerade itself, but destruction. Only the elder, only the leader, only those whose domain you are within have the right to destroy. You have violated that law. You have pissed all over it, and you, because of your actions, now have to know that there are some many things potentially untoward that Zach is submitting themselves to instead.
Mm-hmm.
And just behind that thought is, this is quite tasty. It looks delicious.
Oh yeah, it's just a thought though. Can't I control it?
Control your thoughts? You can try. There are
like not, act on them.
Oh, you don't have to act on them, and that's the thing. That's the most troubling aspect of it. You feel in this moment as if you have complete and total control. You feel in this moment that your willpower, your resolve, your dedication to being who you are is inviolably solid. But 3 feet in front of you on the floor is proof to the contrary.
Mm-hmm.
And Dia is upstairs. You have this body here in front of you. And in that suite, just the other side of the lounge, is Zach behind closed doors with the person who managed to make you feel something besides the ever-present susurrus whisper of the beast. Blood, 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 blood. And he made you feel something outside of that. It was the most despicable of feelings. But even now, as it fades and no longer presses down on your shoulders and no longer forces with tinged tears to your eyes, you realize just how cold you are. Not just physically, but emotionally. Your death killed something in you, some heat, some true level of feeling anything. It's only now as the depressive thoughts ebb, as the sharp tinged memories are blunted, that you realize for the last 2 days you've been relatively completely numb. The idea of rage, the idea of anger has been there, but until possessed of it, until the beast reaches out from the darkness of your mind and takes full control, everything else has been muted. It's like the world is gray. It's either red hot fury or gray. So the question is, what are you going to do? There's the remainder of the night ahead of you. There's the missing McLaren. There's the body. There's Zach and Antonio Calabalarshi inside that room. There's also the bartender that was at the top of the stairs that followed Dia and John Redshad out of the building. There's a chance that another human has been swept along into whatever this you are now experiencing.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been established that Zach is with Antonio, but did Zach actually give in to Antonio's request, or does that part have yet to be played out?
That part is yet to be played out.
Alrighty. Frost, did we lose you?
Oh, sorry. I thought the scene. Sorry, I must be a little out of it still. I thought the scene morphed to someone else's, but wait. So I thought we were talking about Zach. So you were saying that I was numb, right? I've been numb the last 2 days. I've been a vamp.
Yes.
Hmm. Alright, so, would probably get tired of sitting next to this corpse, so he'd probably get up and start, going to one of the many showers that are probably down here.
Okay. Making your way into the nearby suite across from where you're sitting, which puts you at a diagonal to where Zach and Calabalarshi are now resting. The suites, as per the believed image of all members of Clan Toreador, of all sensates, is luxurious and has enough water pressure to feel as if you're being massaged by a million little hands as the water trickles and hits. And as you lean into that luxuriousness, we turn our eyes to the lightly dappled, dewy grounds of the nearby cemetery. The difference between a cemetery and a graveyard is not one that most people would be immediately aware of. There's an understanding that small little spaces are typically graveyards. There's an unconscious understanding that is based solely on size and ornamentation as to which is which. The truth of the matter is, a graveyard has never been blessed. It's never been consecrated. It's land that houses dead bodies. A cemetery is always consecrated. It is hallowed ground. It is a place where the dead can not only be interred, but hopefully be at peace, receiving whatever just deserts their souls have earned them while their bodies rest. And unbeknownst to many, there are many reasons why Dalton specifically and Thornton Township in general have so many cemeteries, is that the power of magic, the power of belief, the general consensus in not only religious worship, but base everyday spirituality was one of the many things that the immigrants brought with them to Dalton. They brought their voodoo. They brought their Santeria. They brought their Protestantism, their evangelical Christian Science, their, you name it, they've been here. There's a network of churches and clergy that sprawl from one end of Dalton to the next. But there are certain areas, certain places where they've congealed and manifest into a singular entity, a shared understanding that there is a world above this one and a hell below it. And in those places where the boundaries between this world and the next are a little thinner, there's a church. There's a house of worship. Typically not too far away, there is an actual cemetery. In one of these such cemeteries resides one of the few members of the Orlocks, an old soul trapped in a new body. It passed as long and as lustrous as one would expect from an undead monster. And the only thing that is resounding about this particular monster is their need for peace, their need for solace. Some things can't be undone. Some bells can't be unrung. The only thing one can do is wait for their just deserts. And as if fate itself has deigned this moment to be that, there is a coming of a dark sedan-styled limousine, its stretched body crawling along the all too thin roadways through the cemetery, looking for a particular tombstone, a particular crypt sitting next to it under a very large tree. Stepping out of this dark, this black on black, as the car heads would say, murdered out limousine, is a gentleman known near and less near for not only his style of dress, but his forthrightness, because unlike many of his blood, he is as direct as you allow him to be. Accompanying him as he exits, opening the door for him and forming up around him are 6 humanoids. And that word used directly because they are, while bipedal, not living, not unliving, but most assuredly are not dead. Some strange simulacrum of life. Some strange existence that bounds the race from the other side into actual ambulatory beings. And there's a rapping upon your chamber door. A gentle, insistent rapping.
Muzan gets his seat from his computer and moseys on over to the door and opens it slightly to see who's on the other side.
The most preeminent master worker of will in Thornton Township, Regent John Rich, stands surrounded by these ambulatory things, these things that refuse to die and won't be allowed to live. I see that you're awake. That's a very good thing. May I come in, or would you like to step out?
I guess it wouldn't be too hospitable of me to leave you out in the cold. Just give me a second here. He shuts it, undoes whatever locks there are, and then he opens it again. Come in.
I must admit that I am greatly appreciative of all the kindness you've shown in staying away from polite society. I have a favor to ask of you, and I'd much rather not deal with your senator directly. We have several things to iron out between us, and as such, you are just the being for this job. Oh, I'm sorry. How was your day?
Why, thank you. It's so nice to finally hear someone actually asks, how am I? Oh, who am I fucking kidding? It's the same as every day. What does it matter? What do you need?
Well, normally your skills are far above reproach in regards to ensuring that others have the opportunity to live or come as close to it as we might in today's technological society. However, you being, and he moves his hand from your shoes towards the area that's near what looks like your face, being as you are what you are, and clearly not connected with any of the existing power structures. None of the local alliances will have you. You don't want them. So you are a free agent for the most part. I would like you to act as such. There is a pressing matter of some non-Daltonite who has taken up residence within our lovely new senator's place of business. You all are known for your ability to get in and get out unseen. I need you to get in and ensure that he never leaves alive, or as close to it as we actually are.
So let me get this straight. You come to me, someone known for helping make everyone's life a little easier in a completely different way from what you're asking me right now. Making fake identities, and here you are asking for what is clearly an assassination.
Yes. I hope that the idea of being asked to do something so odious will cause that creative mind of yours to work, and you'll get there and you'll say, this is not what I do, and you'll arrange an identity and perhaps a sales pitch to get him to leave willingly. Or you'll go through with it, and either way, we both come out ahead. You are owed a small favor from someone with extensive reach and representing the entirety of the chantry, the township. I receive a similar from our new senator, and all's right with the world. I know that your kind are capable of great barbarity and violence. It is not, unfortunately, and forgive me, against the stereotype to watch as you all rend and destroy something. And as you are unaligned and unaffiliated with the senator, myself, or anyone else, it would not be a violation of any agreement if you were to do so unseen and unnoticed. We are all in the clear, we all receive something, and you, most importantly, will receive a warding around your particularly lovely establishment, so that those who seek to do harm to anything and everything interred herein will not be able to do so. You no longer have to be the monster of the crypt. You no longer have to prowl your lovely landscape. And even when you can't during the daylight hours, those seeking to do harm will not be able to.
This all sounds rather appealing, but I do have to ask, why so much for such a simple issue? Something tells me this ain't so simple as you're making it seem.
Because you can't be tied to the senator. That would be her breaking her word. And you can't be tied to me because I don't want to seem to be breaking my word. As you are currently unaffiliated, it suits and solves the fine print. While I seek other means of doing exactly what I am asking you, you act as a shock and awe attack. You travel right down the middle, unhidden, unknown. And if you are successful, and I so thoroughly hope that you might be, we all come out ahead. And if you fail, then, well, you're not connected with it either way, so no muss, no fuss.
There's one last thing I want to ask you before I say yes.
Of course.
Why do you assume that I'm going to be able to assassinate someone? Obviously, I'm good with making fake identities. That part I understand, but the killing part, well, that's not something most people associate with me.
Not you specifically, but with your blood, yes. And I'm not sure how aware you are of more esoteric nature of your environment. Not more than a few nights ago, there was a great undertaking made. Some strange, powerful warlock overtaxed themselves in the doing and were able to glimpse several different paths at once. Now, I'm not sure if you understand, but do you know that upon death, upon dying, there is enough energy released to power several things? That energy clings to the cause. Small bits of it. So, for instance, in myself, having indirectly been responsible for several deaths, if someone were of a significant skill and understanding as to how connection works, they would notice that my being is slightly elevated above what I personally can do. The energy of those deaths cling to me in my aura. They stain my past. So if someone were able to do a working of such magnitude that they could see several paths of the area overlapping itself, there would be threads, little slivers of light pointing in the direction of those most powerful, most accursed, with a significant slew of blood on their hands. And I happen to know such a person who did an undertaking most recently, and several things were illuminated. Speaking of which, I do need to speak with our Dom. But all the same, you happen to have a clue, a guess, what happened to be pointing towards this particular location. You happen to know what happens to be pointing towards Mitchu's towing service. And there are several others, but those people I'm sure you won't be able to directly affect with anything. No leverage for you today, just a little information.
Like, so when Muzan heard him say that things cling to people on death, he almost instinctively, like, grabs his own shoulder as if, like, wondering if he could feel it or get it off, and then he tries to play it off as just him, like, scratching himself, because he suddenly realizes that might have been a giveaway if he had done that. And he just finishes off. He tries to end the conversation by just saying, "Alright, you know what, I'll do it. Just, I get your point. Alright.
Excellent.
I scratch my back, or I scratch your back, you scratch mine, yada yada, boons, whatever. I'll do your fucking job."
Yes. The caveat, of course, being you have to, as much as possible, do so unknown, because, well, the senator is considerably more hopeful, considerably more humane than one would suspect. I do have an inside man. I hope that they will arrive shortly, and that we can make sure that there's a certain pathway open for you. Now remember, connection can't exist until afterwards, and I understand that they have quite a lovely several varieties of vintages, so you may choose to party there from time to time. I know you are simply aching to get out of these surroundings, but I'll leave you to work out your details, and I will, look forward to your success, or I'll toast your failure. Either way, enjoy your evening. Have fun storming the castle. Ensure that something and someone particularly offensive to me no longer exist.
I think you're forgetting something.
Oh, and what would that be?
The name of who you want me to get rid of. I think that'd be a little important.
Yes. I suppose that would normally be something that's done in this case. I wouldn't know. I don't typically hire such persons to do such dark and dangerous things, but I believe that someone of your skill would already know that information. And he points to the stone wall of your crypt just over your left shoulder. Carved into the wall is a near photographic likeness of Antonio Calbalarci, along with their name. There's even, clearly out of some sense of pettiness, a height chart next to his name, telling you that he only stands roughly 5'5", 6".
Well then. Looks like I got what I need for now. So you can be on your way.
Of course. upon your completion, I will look forward to having another conversation. We'll get into those things later, perhaps in a brighter environment, maybe in your day room. And he leaves.
And Muzan closes and locks the door and just mutters to himself, I fucking hate that guy.
And speaking of that guy, as Muzan begins dressing for a departure and accumulating everything he might need to accomplish his goals, Seth, watching the implements slowly destroyed, not burn, but destroy. It is as close to immediate extermination as is possible. The magic of your blood and your understanding causes the materia to work its way towards simply not existing. In the doing, Brigitte watches, her eyes locked, her brow furrowed. You've got to understand, and don't take this the wrong way, but what sense does that make? You're destroying his garbage. I'm sure that has some value, but clearly not enough for him to take care of.
I'm denying him his bloody weapons.
Crushed up bugs are weapons?
Look, girl. Premier have ways of taking energy from anything and turn it into an offensive weapon. And he's better than I am. I need to take away anything that he might get a hold of.
But why not just put a bullet in his head and call it a day? We've had enough of you being all subtle and spooky and witchy-eared. Why not do something a little more direct? Use your good right hand to swell his ears, to box his head, and make sure that he knows not to do such a thing again.
We cannot do that with a Tremere. It's like you shadow folk with your shadows. As long as he takes in life, he has options that are denied anyone else. We need to take away as many options as we can before we find Bean and before we find Frost. It's that kind of day.
You made me rub elbows with the most despicable of sorts, those who weren't even tasty and scent. And now we're going to be dragging our feet to protect your home, your friend's home.
It's not just protecting our friend's home, it's protecting all of us. This outsider came in and took residence in Dalton. He may not be in competition with your echelon, but he's in competition with Dalton, which is of concern to you and to your master. We need to get this done. We need to make sure he cannot take the car, he cannot have the blood, he cannot have the bugs, or he will do untold sorrow in the city. Trust me.
And she raises back her fist and punches through the engine block. I'm bloody well tired of this. Let's tend to it now.
We'll tend to it. We need to find Ben and Frost though. We need to circumvent, so we'll take another path in the VIP. And when we meet the others, I'll not be talking in me wonderful brogue, because none of them need to know where my grandmother is. So I'll go back to being an American Bostonian as opposed to what I was born to.
Are you saying that you're going to code switch? I understand the term.
I kind of say that I disliked having a chance to use my real voice. I don't get it very often. It's been a pleasure, but we need to get back inside. When we go back in the VIPs, we'll take the left instead of the right. We'll try to find the main floor instead of Zach's place. Hopefully Ben or Frost will be there and we can get this done.
Well, lead the way, why don't you? Let's get this over with.
So at this point, Seth has burnt down all the little baggies of random blood, bugs, components that Chucklehead had secreted about the car. But he's keeping the knife in his trench coat pocket. So can't touch him, but he has it near to hand. And he's going inside. His mental space is trying to remember what the fuck Orin tried to tell him about ley lines. Basically, they were power lines. They reacted to metals and minerals about the same way electricity does, but not exactly. And he does remember a couple of the icons that he might need, but he knows he's out of his weight class magically. So he needs to find Dia, who is the planner. And he would really like to find Frost, as Frost is the heavy hammer when required. So he's going to go left instead of right. He's going to head towards the main VIP area instead of the back VIP areas. And he's going to try to get back into the bar that Brigid accidentally sucked him out of when they mixed his magic with her shadow magic. And they got sucked out into Gary.
Stepping into the bar, the first thing that hits your nose is the scent of vitae. Not the few droplets that may have happened if a kindred was roused or properly blushed when bumping against something sharp. Not the telltale ebbings left behind by wards. No, this is... While those could wet one down and seem like a nice soft summer rain, this is vitae on a level of being dunked into the ocean. This is a level of vitae that was clearly a slaughter of some sort.
What in the unnatural fuck happened here? And he looks around trying to see the source of the smell and interposes himself between the smell and Brigid. So he's doing that chivalrous crap, which...
As you both move across the floor, following your noses, or more specifically the beast acting through your noses, being drawn to blood of any and every sort, especially the increased potent blood that is vitae, the magical distillation of what blood could be. You find the delivery driver's body, the newly risen kindred, pushed into death's embrace with the same soft, caring, loving force one would shove a molded tree branch into a wood chipper. The body's in ruin. It's a mess. Looked as if some lion on PCP decided that she was a chew toy. And try though you might to not remember her name. Try though you might to just see it as a geometric puzzle made of former living flesh. You see Ashley. You see Zach's child.
Tore asunder.
Yes.
And because he took notes, he knows there are very few kindred that could pull this off. Or kindred clans that could pull this off. And he knows Frost's recent conversion.
Yeah, but Frost is a protector. Frost is a manhunter, yeah, but he's not a man killer. This is something else, clearly. Frost would have done everything he could to protect a member of the coterie. Frost would have done everything he could to keep everyone inside this building safe.
Frost was a kind 72 hours ago. Seth is not stupid. Brigitte, walk around, clear everybody out. We take care of this. I need to find Frost.
Well, easier done than said. As you say, you need to see Frost. You need to find Frost. The door to his suite opens and Frost exits, a towel around his shoulders. He dabbles his hair and dries it. And as you look at Frost, Frost looks at you, standing over Ashley's body. And there's a strange pallor of death that has fallen over Bridget. We shift to the last suite, the room that has most recently been visited by Seth. Of everyone else, Zach, you are the only member of the coterie that realizes that Seth is back from wherever he disappeared off to. He and Bridget were just in the room. Now they're gone. They're back through the tunnels they entered into. The tunnels you didn't realize entered into the suites directly. You knew that there were several ways from the tunnel that emptied into the main space of the floor. But knowing that each of the suites, or at least this suite, has an access into those tunnels is another curious bit of, that could be useful later, maybe, possibly, potentially. But as they leave, Antonio turns to you, his smile ever present back on his face. Can you believe those guys? What the fuck? Don't they understand? Just fuck off? Are you fucking serious? Can you believe it? Your friends are rude bastards.
Jack does not even dignify that with a response. He starts heading towards the door and trying to listen in on whatever he can hear.
Tut. We have an agreement we need to work out the fine print for. So before you go along eavesdropping, is there anything good being said? Are you talking about us?
What is there to talk about?
Well, us, you, me, here, now. You think they're gonna buy us a housewarming gift? Maybe some plates? No, I could always use a new tentacle. Those knives are so freaking cool. Well, those are really, really good. Those work better than sacrificial ceremonial daggers that we kind of have to pick up along the way. Do you believe how expensive an 18th century Sicilian dagger is? It is ridiculous. The markup on that must be out of this world, must be phenomenal. Now, I know you think I called you and drug you in here, held your hand as we entered into here for something illicit. I know that's what you're thinking, right? You're thinking because everyone thinks we guys, but no, that's not why you're here. I just wanted us to have a private moment. You see, and he gets down on one knee, starts rifling through his pockets. I knew I had another pair of shoelaces. Oh, well. And he stands back up and sits on the bed. Look, here's the thing. There's so many people who are affected as powerfully by certain things. I've never seen anyone suffer, any kindred suffer as long as you did. You know what that means.
But I am morally fucked in the head.
Don't be like them. Don't be stupid. Don't be slow. Don't be small-minded. Don't. That's ridiculous. Fucked in the head. Everyone's fucked in the head. Don't be like them. Being sensitive to the thaumaturgical spell you were means that you are a little special. You hold the potential for so much. everything that we do, everything that we are as monsters who have refused to die is a double-edged sword. Our strengths, our weaknesses, the fact that the entirety of the night is ours, but most of us can't see in the dark. We are things that shouldn't exist, but there are certain ways we have a leg up, even over one another, and being sensitive to certain things, namely a spell targeting emotions, which gives it strength based on your ability to feel. Means that if you were taught to use that against someone else, it would be huge. Basically, kid, come on, sit down, let me talk. Let's talk. Let's work this out. Because you may lack the confidence. I got more than enough of the both of us. I've been fighting my whole life. I only earned what I got by being able to do and willing to do what others would not. And most people will see you as an enemy, an extension of my forcing the hand of the owner of this place. I used to visit it when I was younger, much younger. It used to be owned by another guy. I thought I'd be dealing with him, but clearly he's not around anymore. And I knew that he had an assistant, a secretary, Wonder Woman, but she's not here anymore either. So, all things being equal, I need a place to lay low. I'm on the lam, which is fine. It's fine. I'll figure out who. Well, anyway, don't worry about that. Here's the thing. We don't have to be enemies. You think you're fucked in the head. I think you're so much more than that. I want to give you an opportunity. Give you a chance. I'm sure it's a chance you probably haven't gotten from anybody else in the world. To be seen. To be valued. Your soft, tender moments. To have merit beyond your own heart. Would you like to be seen, Zach? Would you like to be valued?
By myself, most of all. Because others cannot value me until I value myself.
I've spoken very, very wise. It means you are self-aware, and that's a good thing. What I can teach you, what I can help you see, is you. Your potential. And in the doing, you and I will go on to bigger and better things. We'll take along those who matter to us, whoever they are. I won't fault you for your decisions. You won't fault me for mine. So, here, now, do you want that?
At this point, Zach is so desperate for some sort of positive emotion that he takes the plunge. Yes. Show me. Teach me. And he's panting. Make me into who I can be if I had just ripped this goddamn lock off of myself.
It's not going to be easy for either of us. Look, the showmanship that I put on, the facade that I wear for the world, isn't really for anybody, but it gives me confidence to do what I need to do. And as long as I realize and understand and accept that it is a mask, not for the world, but for me, I'm able to see who I truly am. I've always been the shortest kid. I've always been the smallest kid. I've always been the kid that everyone overlooks. I've always been the guy that's just the guy. Something, someone. No, Antonio, we can't do that. No, you shouldn't. Yes, you gotta do. No. Fuck their rules. Fuck their ideas. And so I put on a mask to make sure that I remember it. I keep it first and foremost in my head. The only person that mattered, the only person that's with me through thick, thin, and every step along the way is me. Everybody else will tell you that the beast will do this, the beast will do that. That's them putting on a mask to hide from the truth. The truth is that they are all monsters. They will harm and turn on each other at a drop of a notice. They'll leave each other in fear. They'll run from flame through their very allies. They will take and take and kill everything of value, not just for themselves, but everyone who's near them eventually. And to protect themselves from that reality, to keep themselves from understanding just how fucked up they really are. They say, it's the beast that made me do it. No, jackass, you did it. Own it. And I own everything I do. I have no shame, because there's no one that deserves my respect, except for maybe you. And I'd like to help you get there, to truly own who you can be. So, our first step, tell me to fuck off.
He inhales deeply. Out. Now. Before I do something that I will regret for as long as I'm still standing.
See? No. That's not how I tell you. You tell someone to fuck off. Look me in my eye. You see me? You looking down here? The weather's fine down here. How's it up there by you? You look them in the eye, and you mean it. You don't care what happens. You don't care what happens when you tell someone to fuck off. You mean it. You own it. You are here for not just the smoke, but you want the flame. You want the fire. Now tell me to fuck off.
Finally, he just yells it, loud enough for anybody in the main area to be able to hear. As if he's telling a rowdy patron to get out of his bar.
Good. That's great. You have practice in scaring people off. No, I want you to mean it. I want you to get right up close. Lower your voice. There's no one here in the entirety of the world. We are on the moon. You, me, and fuck and off. 2 of us, maybe 3 of us can stay. The other one has to go. It's life or death. Summon up your darkness and use it as a weapon. And know that it is your darkness and that it has the opportunity to hurt you just as much as you hurt the other person. And you want it so bad that to get to the other person, you will cut off your own arm. That you'll stab yourself in the heart. You'll stab through your spine into them because it will hurt. And that's how much they deserve to hurt. So how much skin are you willing to put in the game? How much menace can you summon up and use as a weapon? And yeah, it's going to burn your hand. Yeah, you may lose a couple of fingers, but it has to be worth it. You have to be willing to suffer and own your own darkness. It's the only way to find the light. It's the only way to find the balance. Now, one more time. Summon up all that pretty little hate you got and let her rip.
It is there when Zack taps into his memories of his childhood, memories of his parents and the way they treated him. And he musters up the same look he gave Frost when Frost killed Ashley. It's clear he's building up as much as he can. But there's a lot to build up. As Zack's eyes grow colder and sharper, and his features grow sharper, it's clear that there is a lot he needs to build up.
And as Zack arranges that mountain, he builds it brick by brick. What does he say?
Okay, can you repeat that last word?
What does he say? How does he express himself? With this mountain of enmity, this mountain of negativity, what does he do with it?
He repeats what he yelled out, but this time much more softly and in a much more menacing tone. The nice guy is gone. He's thrown his mask against the wall like a baseball over a fence. There is now knives behind his expression. There is now a certain amount of malice in his presence. He almost snarled it.
Now that I believe. Now that is confidence. That is owning your darkness. That is who you really are, what everyone else will discount, discredit, and not value. And that has value. The entirety of the world could be ours if we but own the monsters that we be. But I know your friend's gonna come looking for you soon. You might as well go ahead and get the fuck out of here. I'll see you tomorrow night. I got a few things I need to prepare here. Get ready. And when no one's paying attention and you got a hot second, you can always come back tomorrow. Tonight I need to prepare.
Thank you, a sigh. That was surprisingly therapeutic. He steps out. But before he does, Antonio goes, he pauses just long enough to listen.
Pauses where?
What?
You say Zach pauses?
Yeah, if Antonio were to say something, Zach would pause just long enough to listen to what Antonio is saying. If he is, in fact, saying something.
No, as the moment you move away from him, he begins to redecorating the room. He's moving certain things here, certain things here. And it's clear that there's some inherent map in his head, using the space and everything in it, that he's arranging something. He's clearing space here. He's balancing out this there. He's moving. There is something afoot, and it is clearly based on the alignment of things. Exiting out into the main room, you find Seth, Bridget, and Frost. Frost looking all too much like a Gucci model. His skin dappled with wetness, the towel around his shoulder, the towel loosely tied around his hip, low enough that you can see where his abdominals fall into his pelvis.
Not expecting that.
And coming down from upstairs is Dia. Dia, the moment you open the door and step down, you see Seth, Bridget, speaking towards Frost, who's standing in the doorway of one suite. Instead of wearing the blood-soaked pants that he was in and his hands covered in vitae, he's wearing a towel around his waist and one around his shoulders. He lightly dries his hair. Coming out of the suite from across the room is Zach. Standing where you are at the top of the stairs, you can look over the entirety of the floor, and Ashley's body is still there. The wreck and ruin of Zach's child.
Kind of you to finally return, Seth. Now that everything's done and over with, and we have an unwanted house guest, which I cannot do anything about.
Getting it over with seems an overstatement. Leaving was not my decision, but I've discovered a couple of things on my travels.
How wonderful. Have you discovered how to undo an Elysian? If otherwise I'm not helped. I suppose, as master of the manor, I have to handle this situation. Walking past everybody, sparing a moment to stare at Zach and raise a brow as to where they were coming out of. peeks around them a little bit and then just rolls their eyes because ew. Don't want to know. And heading towards the body. I will handle this if you would all please give me some space. And go talk about things amongst yourselves.
I killed her, shouldn't I help?
You've helped enough, darling.
Well, I still have business I need to tend to. A certain deal we all made, and my end of it.
Right.
That stands back, letting Dia take command
As
of
a
the situation.
Matter of fact, actually, Frost, please put on pants. Seth, please escort them upstairs. Our delivery from Silk should be here any moment now because our lovely friend has returned time to its normal behavior. Yes, that was the thing that happened this evening. Fuck. Anyway.
There was many things that happened this evening, and his manipulations, he seemed comfortable enough to relate to me. So yes, I'll head upstairs, but you and I need to talk.
We always need to talk. And by the way, Rich told me to tell you when you returned that he would like to speak to you as well.
Well, I had a date with him earlier, but that got thrown into the wood chipper, as what seems to be happening to most of our scheduled appointments. Frost, let's head up.
If what up? Wait.
We'll head up to my place.
Oh.
I've got clothes.
My place is nearby too.
As you all were talking about departing and dressing and changing and laying plans for the remainder of your evening, it is now 38 after the hour. We'll be back at 48 after the hour. Thanks so much, guys. And speaking of us versus them, as
Sorry, we got two heated Star Wars fans yelling at each other.
Star Wars is its own thing. It uses a lot of ideologues and a lot of analogies for what's going on in the world. And if you bother to really study it, to really pay attention, it is a textbook example of what a late 1950s person would think is honorable. And it's the idea that there is a consistent right, no matter how many flaws you make to get there.
Guys.
They're not bad guys. There really aren't any bad guys. The Sith are part of the Jedi Order. They are the other half of the Jedi Order. It is one thing, the Force. However, the ideologies are what they're fighting over. That's
Religion.
driving the whole franchise. But, again, us versus them.
Okay.
It's the basis of every war. It's the basis of every conflict. And in this moment, as you all look on the corpse of Ashley, there's no better example of that. Us versus them. We all see ourselves as the good guys. We all see ourselves as the right and honorable. We're doing the things that we do for a reason that matters. And in the course of doing so, in the course of drawing those hard lines, in the course of saying this justifies the ends, there are casualties. There are things that get lost in the fire. And one of those things that was lost not once, but twice, lays cold on the floor between you all. While the ideas were pushed out that you all would go do other things, the reality of the matter is no one's mourned her. No one's grieved her.
I just got in the room.
No one has absorbed the loss of life and the loss of immortality. There lies a cold, dead example of what you each are capable of wreaking in the environment around you all without guidance, without leadership, without some moral and ethical line and someone to hold it.
Mentioned to raise an objection. What was Zach's scene where he was tearfully singing to Ashley as he was stroking her hair? What was Zach looking at Frost with anger and hate when he realized what Frost had done? Was that not grief?
No, that's depression. That was Zach lost in his own emotions for his emotions' sake. What relevance did that have on Ashley's life? Ashley's father, which everyone knows because of the bartender, suffers through poverty. Ashley's long dead mother. Ashley herself. That was Zach's loss. That wasn't a respecting of the dead. That wasn't a honoring of Ashley's life. That wasn't an honoring of the simple fact that a life had been taken twice. Not just her life, but her immortality. Zach lost a child. Zach lost an extension of his immortality. There's a lot of things there to grieve. And not all of them solely for Zach. But Zach is definitely caught up in that. Grieving Ashley would definitely apply to grieving Zach's loss as well. How many children has Zach created in their lifetime amongst the dead? How many to them, for them beings have been lost to Zach recently?
Really, just her.
What about Drew? Drew still loves you. You may see that it is twisted now. You may see that the fractured education he provided was designed to keep Zach beholden to him. But every kindred here was created by the selfishness of another monster in the dark. They loved, cared for, or felt the need to protect someone so much that the only thing they could do, the only thing they could think would be valid and ethically, morally sound is to kill them. Each and every person standing in this space is the product of a monster's idea of love and greed. So, with your immortality on rent, little ideas percolating in the brain, and watching the moldering of Ashley in alphabetical order, let's begin. Dia.
As everybody's slow to leave and kind of standing around, Dia shrugs. Well, I warned you that you wouldn't want to be here. And then they head for the bar, sit the industrial juicer on the counter, a funnel and some bottles that are all clean and corked, head back to Ashley, pick them up and walk them towards the bar, put them up on the bar, and start ripping off pieces and putting them through the juicer. Completely calm, as if this is everyday and normal thing.
Frost. watching the calm aplomb of the body being worked towards being destroyed. What does Frost do with his new immortality? The fact that his stomach is empty, otherwise it would be emptying.
And I realize I'm muted. Hi. Basically, Frost, like he said, he doesn't like to focus on the past, so he ignores it. He just glances over at the corpse, which is life. Oh, it's truly innocent, anyways. And wants to start heading over to either Seth's house or his house.
So the fact that I'm just putting a body in a juicer, get no reaction at all.
Oh.
Not for
Yeah, I would look away. That just such is life. But at the same time, that's just my way of thinking, but I'm not sure if that's Humanity 6 or not. Or it's Humanity 7. However many humanities he has left.
Frost, would you be so kind as to go ahead and roll your resolve plus composure?
Resolve plus composure. Alrighty. Crap, sorry. 1 sec. It's pitch black, and I had my character sheet up on my phone, which decides to disappear at random moments. It's right here. Resolve plus composure. Okay, that would not be. Yeah, that would be. Difficulty or no?
No. There's a cost for everything. There's a cost for doing business. There's a cost for living. There's a cost for everything. Everything has its own tax, its own exception to the rule or idea of profiting from a situation. The zero-sum life that Frost attempts to live or lived no longer fits the skin that he is in. The ability to potentially turn off, to not feel anything by ignoring, is different than the inability to feel. The memories of those feelings, the colors and vibrancy of that he took for granted during life, are things that his soul misses in the here and now. There's a value to everything, a cost for everything. And watching his victim be ground into paste and mush doesn't trip the non-sociopathic humanity that exists in all things. Doesn't trip that sense of revulsion, that revilement of watching flesh be reduced so cruelly. What is triggered in such a cold, sadistic, psychopathic mind is the idea of ownership. The idea of proprietary rights. He's not sure where it comes from, where it creeped into the nest that sits in the center of his being, the hearth that it warms itself alongside of inside his soul. But there it is, crying out in anger, crying out in demand for justice. How dare she take something that is mine? Seth, Zach, having been near Frost in the last 2 days, having watched the cruelty that is possible, that exists within him, seeing that subtle twitch of the lip, the tightening of the jaw, you know what that presages. Try though you might to ignore that fact, there's no ignoring it. You all have one action. What are you going to do?
Because Seth is the only religious one in the group, he's going to hold up his hand to Frost as not like, don't even fucking think about it, but a more hold up, wait a minute. And as Dia is crossing the room, heading towards the juicer, he's going to cross himself and utter in nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti. Please, Father, take this spirit into your bosom. And then he recites the rosary as Dia transports the body and starts doing her thing. But his eyes are on Frost.
So one action to spare before potential catastrophe, Seth launches into prayer. What does Zach do?
Zach gets the notion that Frost is about to lose it again, and moves as quickly as he can to place himself between Frost and Dia.
If you would like, Frost, with Seth's outstretched hand in front of you, and Zach bodily between you, and reclaiming what is yours, if you would like, you may spend the willpower to force yourself to at least hold still in your where you stand, concentrating on not moving beyond where your feet currently are. Or you can spin big and try to not have a whammy with another resolve plus composure.
So basically, like, risk it all or, take what I got, right?
Yep.
Thing is, am I feeling lucky today? I don't know. I'm gonna reroll. Willpower reroll.
Well, if you take a superficial willpower damage, i.e. just spend the willpower, you won't have to roll.
What do you mean?
It means it's a freebie if you burn willpower, a single point of willpower. It's a freebie action to hold still and not go nuts.
Okay.
Or you don't spill in willpower, you roll the dice and see what happens.
Oh. What do you guys want me to do? Like,
it is your decision.
I mean, this is Frost. 2 days after conversion, his one kindred friend is doing his Catholic thing because Frost knows he's Catholic. And the sire figure of the fallen is interposing themselves. So you have to make a decision. Do you want to do the honorable thing of checking yourself at this point, or do you want to give in to the gangrel half and chance losing it?
Again.
See.
Run wild.
think I think the bad thing is I want to re-roll. I don't want to spend a willpower.
What's your hunger at?
It's at 1.
Oh, 1? So
yeah.
the beast isn't exactly beating down your door right now. You're fed. You're just being proprietary. So the beast isn't kicking your ass around the block. So it's more of a matter of, do you choose your friends or yourself? And how does Frost generally act in that situation?
He generally acts selflessly, and he tries to be a good team member, which means he'll spend the superficial. Sorry, nobody. You don't get your chaos.
It is an act of supreme humanity. The images of his hands, the images of what they became, the carnage that they wreaked, the look in Zach's face, the fact that Seth is doing his best to bless the body, to offer prayer for whatever soul remained in Ashland, causes Frost to pause. The struggle is clear. The demands and tax on his being, it's clear. And the scary thing for both is Seth and Zach is the decision was far closer than either of them to conscience. It wasn't just a spurring on, a momentary flicker of the beast, an easy decision to struggle down. It was a coin flip. And you all nearly lost it. And speaking of losing, Muzan, in preparation for what lay ahead of you, what is it that is on your list of things to accomplish?
Number 1, find out who this person is. He has a name to go off of at least. Number 2, find out where they are. And number 3, find a big duffel bag.
How big?
Big enough to fit some potential fake IDs, some potential fake fingerprints, stuff like that, you know, stuff you would normally bring for helping someone start a new life, possibly big enough to fit a body in, you know, the usual stuff.
So like an army rucksack.
That works.
It takes far longer than he is comfortable with it taking. It's not like handling things via the intranets. It's not as easy as working through the DARPANET 6.7 that is the modern internet. It is painfully slow because you have to get face to face with these people. And by people, you only mean kindred. These people have their rights and their rituals and how they choose to conduct business. And while it will be easy enough for you to hack their phones and find access and egress to their businesses, these are the older, more entrenched kindred. These are the senator herself. These are the advisors. These are people that should not have access to anyone who is not in the know. And unfortunately, due to his trade, Muzan very much is in the know. Be that a great thing or in this tedious one. Because having access has its benefits However, at most, gratingly. It also has its downside. You can't simply be off with that fuck off amount. There's a cost to it. So, finding Senator Amanda and settling in, you are a little disturbed because Dancer Dan is back in town. And based on how Amanda is dressed, it is clear that she was not dressed for Dancer Dan. Dancer Dan is a wild card. He's a member of the Orlocks, a member of the Su that has, on more than one occasion, given you all a bad name. He acts as a Phantom of the Opera sort. He spurs young toreadors on to greater excesses of artistic demonstrations and creates children willy-nilly all across the south suburbs. Because of his last childer, Amanda banished him from the city for just under a year or so. It's clear that his time is up and he's back. And she's meeting with him, and because you needed a face-to-face, because you needed certain information, namely, where the fuck is the Biscuiteers? You don't travel in those circles. And Dan quickly pops up. Yo, that's Nicole's place. It's a great sex club. You can get almost any vitae you want. You just gotta know the right code word. The people downstairs, the kind, they actually are in on it. They set each other up so that they can disappear off into these little suites. And last time I was there, I had this little lovely Chinese girl. He was actually a boy, but I didn't know it at the time. And the cheekbones, it was a delicious evening. It was so good. I think I need to go back. Amanda, could you get me an appointment? I think I'd like to get... Oh, you hush. Nicole is no longer there. Her child, Dia Concordia, is the new senator instead of Jack. What is it that you want, Muzan?
There's just a friend there I need to meet, but damn, she's a senator now? What the... When did that happen?
Some furbag offed Nicole. Seems they had ties to Naomi. Can I get you a fresh one? And she tears the ass end, tail and all, off of a rat and empties the chunky, all too sparse blood down her gullet. There's a certain way you should drink a Capri Sun, and that definitely is not it. But it seems to be with experience and age, she has gotten to the point where that is no issue for her. She swallows it down as if most would if you set a jar of jelly beans out in front of them without really even thinking. It's almost a nervous tick, the constantly eating, the consumption of life.
Don't mind if I do. Why not?
So, you got a friend there. You're experiencing a little difficulty. Some stupid warlock came in and interrupted my meeting with the regent.
I heard something about that.
I'm sure you did. Everyone has. Everyone important anyway. But I don't dislike Concordia. So, if you're going to go, make sure you have whatever protections you need. There's a problematic warlock there. A Gary warlock.
All warlocks are problematic.
I'm working on that. Rich is trying to... Well, never mind about that, but... Be safe, Muzan. We've... Whispers. Olivia. And Tommy in the last year. One way. Don't really like your style of dress. I'd hate to lose you too.
Yeah, I'd hate to lose me too.
Wait, my child's dead? Oh, yeah, I was meaning to tell you about that. We were working in that direction. And she very sarcastically reaches across the space between her and Dancer Dan, resting her hand on his knee. There, your child's dead.
Oh, yeah, sorry for your loss.
I just made that one and I had such hope. He was actually a fucking techie. And you let him die? Hey, watch your fucking mouth. We have a guest. You are a guest. So that's your one. Next time, I'm gonna have Muzan stick his fist up your ass and pull your tonsils out. And if you don't like that idea, I've got other tools we can use instead. So, back to happier news. Your banishment is over. We're gonna need you to stick around this time. There's a lot of people we need you to watch. And Muzan is too busy watching bodies grow flowers to be of any use to his blood these days.
Hey, it's a comfortable place, alright? Peace and quiet most of the time.
Yeah, and our city, our lovely, the capital of Thornton Township, is falling by the wayside while we sit on your ass with your thumb firmly implanted up your urethra.
Hey, I do my part. I keep us hidden in my own way.
Yeah, while turning a tidy profit. And we have a new senator instead of Jack earning Nicole's position or anyone that opened. We have the Dom doing whatever it is she's doing, managing to stay a step ahead of any attempts at intelligence. And we have Mitchell. Do you know, back in the old days, when something was happening in a neighboring country, when they were gearing up for war, you know how you knew?
Usually it's when they came and started shooting at you too.
No, salt. They didn't have preservatives. They didn't have the things necessary to keep an army in motion. And an army fights on their stomach. So to ensure they had meat and necessary protein to wage a war that might have a chance at being successful, they stockpiled salt to preserve their meats. And you know what that is like in this day and age? Mitchell's stockpiling modern salt. He's reaching outside of the township, making alliances. He is making some sort of preparations for war. I hear these managed to reach out to Don Pompeo over in Indiana. I also understand that he's reached out to the sheriff in Chicago, which means they'll be sending a hound or two to help. He's stockpiling salt, and we don't know who he's looking at. And you know what they say about that? If you don't know who's getting got, it's usually yourself. But go right ahead. Keep watching the bodies grow flowers.
But what the fuck do you expect me to do, huh?
A lot. Clearly my expectations are wrong. I expect you to help keep the village as it is. We are untouched, we are unnoticed, we are invisible. But if everything goes up in flames, like the Queen of Spades, we will no longer be invisible. There's also so many places that are open and comfortable for us. You want that to change? You want a bunch of ghost hunters traipsing up and down your graveyard? Do you want me to be on the street having to earn my daily bread? Really? You want me out there on the street? You want Dancer Dan singing for his supper? Do you want all those pretty little effeminate waste of immortality from the city coming down to warden our area? Or worse yet, do you want Mitchell to remove the Dom and take control? That zealot would hunt down anything and everything with fangs if given full leeway. You know how those fucking Hakamites are.
I know all too well. Alright, you've made your fucking point. Look, you said you lost a tech, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how good he was, but I've been getting pretty handy with him myself. So, let's say we strike a small deal here. You help me get a little better in exchange. I'll help man the cybersecurity side. I'm already pretty good with getting into government databases as it is for my job. So it shouldn't be too hard for me.
Consider yourself you got a deal. Now get out of here so I can properly welcome Dancer Dan back into our bosom.
It's been a pleasure as always.
Cousin, do you need any help? Maybe I can make myself useful, Amanda. Instead of, we could get back to you welcoming me into your warmth any other day, but it's clear that Muzan needs help, and while I'm grieving, I think it's best that I go help him keep busy so that the grief doesn't overwhelm me, so it doesn't take me out. Lead the way, Muzan. Let's get out of here. We'll leave you to your night, Amanda. Thanks for the heads up, but yeah, I'm back. Okay, I'm back.
Well, if I didn't know any better, you sound like you're in a hurry to leave.
No, you clearly need help. Come on, let's go. Come on. He puts his hand on your back and slowly, gently starts pushing you along.
In normal circumstances, I'd say fuck no. But you know what? I think I've got an idea, and it involves you. So, let's get going.
So as you all leave Amanda to the warmth of her own judgment, her own space, the moment you get out, Dan wipes his brow with a handkerchief he removes from his pocket, dabbing at the edges. Fuck! What do you need? I'll help you, but gotta be quick. I gotta get the fuck out of here before she really tries to do something worse. God, she's talking my ear off and literally tried to take a bite out of me. I think she's getting crazier in our old age.
Just clarifying, this is still same scene?
Yeah, and Dancer, as you guys are leaving.
Okay. Oh, really? Do tell. It wasn't obvious at first.
Yeah, I think Amanda losing that was her saving grace, her one last act of goodness. And now that Olivia's dead, and fuck, what happened since I've been gone?
Well, the world has been gradually going to shit. That's what's happened. But, that's what it's been like every single day since time began, so...
Alright, what's this plan? What do you need? Let's do this. Thanks, by the way. And I'll get the fuck out of your hair. I'll leave you and Amanda to whatever it is she has in mind. What do you need?
I need you to walk on to the front door and say hi. And keep them busy, whoever's inside, for about, 20, 30 minutes.
Okay. Sounds like a plan. Should I look for you? Is there a way I can let you know that shit's going bad or shit's going real good?
That depends. So you got one of your little animal buddies around, or you not one of those kinds of rats?
I fucking despise animals, but I'll do what I can. Fucking hell. He walks up to the front door. And speaking of hammering on the door.
So, by the way, at this point, as soon as he starts doing that, I'm immediately throwing up unseen passage and trying to find like a back way in.
Yes. A back way into a club which has a veritable hedge maze of back ways in. Impossible. That can't be done. Would you be so kind as to roll your resolve and larceny and resolve and stealth? And while that's happening, and the whirring of the industrial juicer is pulping and clogging with a as the bones are ground and the blood is separated from the bits and bobs of what is Ashley. You guys are nearly through to there being not much left except for primarily the torso at this point. The head is still there, but the torso is all that remains of the lower regions. The arms are gone, the legs are gone. And with this being the case, and then the pausing of dumping out the pulp tray from the juicer, you all hear the pounding on the door upstairs. Frost, Seth, and Zach.
Oh, what the hell
We
now?
are closed, and I would like for you to tell them that we are closed. Whoever it is, I have to finish this.
Zach starts marching towards the front door, losing patience by the second.
Alright, if you look there on the whiteboard, you'll notice that directly under Amanda, there's a picture of what Dancer Dan looks like. The best attempt to describe what Dancer Dan is, he is what would happen if you could put a human into an bake oven. It is that dry electric cooking that turns everything into only slightly done versions of baked goods. And that is what he looks like in human form. So as you open the door, standing there is in fact Dancer Dan, the half-done cookie that is. Hey, how you doing?
You do realize we're closed, correct?
You're a club. Why are you closed? Where is Nicole's child?
Occupied.
Well, unoccupy her.
And how do you expect me to do that?
You don't look too dumb. I think you got skills. You can make it happen. Unless, of course, you're denying someone who represents a... You're not bad looking. What are you, Are you one of the perverts?
That I am, in fact.
Excellent. So you know what I'm here for. Get Thea over here. Tell her boyfriend is back.
Zach just scowls and shuts the door.
He sticks his foot in. He sticks his foot in to stop it from closing. The sound of it slamming against a clearly orthopedic shoe is distinct enough that it would catch Zach's attention. You know that the door didn't close. You didn't hear the latch catch. You didn't hear you heard the soft thud. It's rude to close the door in somebody's face. I'm not gonna come in unless because you say I can, but the door, that's fucking rude. What are you guys on these days? I expect a certain level of obedience from my girlfriend's boyfriend.
What part of we're closed do you not understand?
What part of
Continues walking off.
What part of standing in the way of love? Don't you understand? I'm here to claim my bride. It's been years, and I'm sorry. I would have brought flowers, but there's no floors open for a guy that looks like me. I'm here to make an example of myself. I'm here to throw myself on the floor before her. I will crawl over at least 2 or 3 inches of nails. Maybe 4 if she's willing. Pain that I put myself through. But I'm willing to sacrifice everything that I can to reclaim what was taken from me by cruel circumstance. You may not believe it, but this face used to be beautiful. Maybe not as beautiful as what you are accustomed to, but I was a good looker for a while. And then fate. Hey, where you going?
He's continuing to march down towards Dia. You will not believe what I have to tell you. That's what Zach says to Dia.
Their eyebrow goes up. Yes?
Someone who looks like a loaf of bread that wasn't cooked long enough is claiming to be a former lover of yours.
Don't recall, but okay, apparently they're not willing to listen to you, so they will listen to me. Dia strips off the plastic gloves, sits them next to the juicer, pulls their hair up in a high ponytail, turns on their heel and heads for the stairs at a stomp, which is very clearly agitated, and heads for the front door.
Frost, Seth, are you going to allow the senators to go to the door by themselves after everything you always last 2 days?
If you ask me, Zach starts up. It smells like a setup for a trap.
I agree with Zach.
So you all head up. The coterie as a whole makes its way to the main floor of the Pisketeers. Behind the bar is the burnt and overcooked and undercooked version that is Dan. He's pouring. The bar is lined with several shots, and he's pouring vodka into gin, and gin into whiskey, and whiskey into cognac, and cognac into scotch, and he's giving it a shake. Oh, you guys are just in time. How's everybody this evening? And he pours out 9 shots, spilling along the way. Clearly not a bartender, clearly not used to or accustomed to an actual shaker. Oh, this shit's a fucking mess. So, which one of you is Dia? I'm your blind date. You guys do drink, don't you? He sets the shots from the rail onto the bar dribbling and dripping and dribbling and dripping as he does so. Spills roughly about 1/8 of the shot all over the bar as he sits each one closer to you guys.
Shouldn't you know who she is based on what you've told me?
Things change. Look at my face. I used to be a handsome boy. You said that I was quite handsome and stylish for my age. But I'm your blind date, dear. And he looks at Frost. Not really my type, the beard, but if that's what we're doing, I guess that's what we're doing.
It's a trap. I knew it. Zach thinks to himself but doesn't say out loud. And he starts heading downstairs thinking something's about to go on there.
If you've never seen Dia mad ever before, this would be that time. Their face changes and goes so still. The eyes narrow and they square their shoulders, giving Dancer Dan a death stare.
So you're Dia. Alright, that's much better. Oh my god. You know, I try not to date interracially. It's a bad look for all of us. So, I'm thinking a movie. I hear they Spiral or whatever it is actually pretty good.
With Cat's grace, they are up and over the bar top and landing on Dancer Dan with their hand at his throat.
Oh, you like it? Yeah, you like it rough. That's fine. I can bottom for you. I'm not really breathable, but you might want to be a little easy. The skin peels away. It leaves a stain. It's really oily.
Why are you here?
I was told to come and there's a lot going on over here. Someone said you could probably use something to pick you up, a cheer up, and I can't sing, so I figured we'd go on a date.
So you're a strippogram of some sort? No, thank you.
No, I wouldn't do that to anybody. The bits work, but it takes a lot to get used to all of that flaying and degloving. It's really a bad look.
I was told that you were told that we were closed, and yet I find you in my bar, spilling my alcohol.
I was gonna buy it for everybody. I would buy drinks in the house and make everybody feel okay. You was told. I was told you were closed, but think about it. Do I look like the sort to force open the door? Look, the door is unlocked. I didn't do that from the outside. Do you really think that I wasn't let in?
Dia starts to squeeze just a little bit because he's annoying.
Look. We know you're not gonna kill me. You're gonna rough me up real bad, and that's fine. I can take it. It's just I don't necessarily want to take it. I would much rather take you to a movie.
Letting go of their throat and looking at Frost.
When's the last time someone took you out? When's the last time someone did something nice for you? When's the last time you got the respect you deserve? I know you don't want to be seen with me. You can sit one row up. I'll sit behind you. What was that, Frost?
It's time for you to leave.
Well, I didn't get a no, and that means that I can assume that we're on, and so I could be waiting for you to change. You're stylish, but maybe too stylish for the Cineplex. There, Dia. Maybe something a little lower key. Maybe something with a hood. That way you don't have to get embarrassed being seen with me. I know you can't eat popcorn, but I'd spring for the juji fruits too.
Sir, I think you should leave now before you make yourself even more embarrassed.
Oh no, I'm not embarrassed. It's okay to get up to the plate and strike out. You still gotta step up to the plate. There's only suckers and cowards who don't step up to the plate. I'm stepping up. I'm like, hey, Dia. I really it would mean the world for me to show you how much you mean to somebody. It's clear these guys they're only with you for the power. I don't want nothing from you. Just maybe a date, movie.
As Frost squares up against our dancer gentleman, Seth becomes really still and uses his blood potency, so he becomes more stark.
Oh wow, that's quite a show. So Dia, is that a yes?
She's finally just lost it and just bursts into laughter. And it's like Vitae-soaked tears are coming down her cheeks, and she's just guffawing at this whole situation. And out of nowhere, it just goes, you know what? Fine. We'll go on a date. Why the fuck not?
Sure
you okay with
that? Dia?
You okay? What horror movie? I like horror. It's pretty good. I hear the Candyman is out. You could never watch the original. It was too scary. But I think maybe if we watch it together and make things a little different,
Sure.
I can just make this dude. Oh wait, Dia, you don't have to do this.
My night has been an utter shit show already. What's one more fucking dumpster fire added on top of it?
And it'd be a good thing. It'd be a great thing. Like, when was the last time you just went out? When was the last time any of you guys? And I did, but little things.
So you're inviting us all?
Well, the movie theater's big enough. We didn't gotta sit next to each other. Like, I don't want to embarrass anybody, and I definitely won't by you. What sort of guy walks around, in his towels and stuff for like on movies?
I was about to go get changed when you came in.
I don't mind. You do you. If that's how you want to go, we just gotta sit apart. You gotta save room for God.
As he says that, he's gonna drop the towel because this dude's just like, okay, fine, you save room for God. Nah, bitch. Free. No. Because why not?
Seth at this point just growls.
You growl.
Oh, he growls. When he's got his potency up, he growls. And then he heads back to where Zach is and see what he can see downstairs.
All right.
Smells like bad juju. Dia's got this. Seth is going to go downstairs with Zach and see what they can do with what's might or might not be happening down there.
All right. First things first. Would both Zach and Seth, would you be so kind as to... Do either of you have auspex?
Yep.
Excellent. Be so kind as to roll your wits and auspex. Your target number is 6 or higher.
Crap on a cracker.
We made so many character sheets, I'm not even sure anymore.
Look at the date when last saved.
Oh, crap.
Oh no, I do not have auspex, man.
I just have heightened senses.
Because that and premonition.
Aspects, it definitely helps. Give it a shot.
Wait, so we can do heightened senses?
That's your wisp plus your aspects. And of course, you can always use willpower.
Okay, hold on. Let me flip over. I get some pages. Okay. You said I had to roll wits plus aspects again?
No, you've already rolled. And of course, you're going to tap that button for your willpower expenditure. Otherwise, it's perfectly fine. Seth, did you give it I don't see your die roll.
It's there. I had to do. Oh, where did I go? God damn it. Oh, I forgot to put a space in. That's my bad. Sorry.
Did you roll on Steel Hearts?
I may have. Hold on.
Okay.
No, there it is. No, that's not me. That's yeah. I rolled on Steel Hearts. Sorry.
No worries. I saw it pop up as something was happening over there. So, taking a quick look. All right. So we got 3. All right. So.
Yeah, I don't have sense the unseen. I only have the heightened senses.
So as you all come downstairs, there's the disturbing grisly remains of Ashley on the bar, no longer on the floor. It's going to take several good scrubbings with peroxide and soap and peroxide and maybe a little bleach to go over once you guys are done. But it's definitely going to require a good scrubbing. This is several times this floor has been spilled with blood and several more times that it needs to be scrubbed. You guys are going to peel the wax off at this point. And while you guys are looking around, expecting something to leap out of the shadows near at hand, Brigida's sitting on the divan, her legs kicked back, her eyes only hoodedly open. She's filing her nails.
Who is?
Brigida. But while she's there on the divan, everything else is exactly as it was. There's no monsters hiding in the dark. There's no shadows coming to life. There is the quiet that you've heard described as too quiet. It's amazing what the mind can get accustomed to, and the sound of the juicer has become part of the backdrop of this moment. With it being off, Dia haven't begun to clean the pulp reservoir. It seems like a church, like a funeral parlor, the place where people are extraordinarily quiet in respect of the dead. And while you guys are
skivvies.
There's no skivvies. There's just towel. Gone.
I said I dropped the towel.
I know, that's what I said. Towel. Gone. Skivvies. Oh my goodness. You are clearly on the wrong show. Come on, that's happening upstairs. And Seth and Zach are absorbing the space around them because I remember the last time it was bloody well fucking quiet. Things happened that you guys are still dealing with. But as you all take that in, we're going to shift the gaze. We're going to settle in on another person taking in the lay of the land. You've heard through the network, through the sewer rats, through the Orlocks of the township, that even just recently from Dancer, that the Piscateurs is the place to go for the penultimate of pleasure. You expected there to maybe be a back door, maybe a back stairwell. You did not expect a warren of tunnels with egresses stretching a quarter of a mile underneath the reservoir. There is a honeycomb hideout of tunnels, and knowing what to look for, because there are certain fundamentals necessary to hide a thing has given Muzan the leg up. The leg up being he finds one without being told, without being escorted, without knowing the secret knock. And he finds himself inside the tunnels and through the tunnels into the open space. At the back of the open space is a redhead who has her legs kicked up, dressed to the nines for such a place, filing her nails, looks at you, smirks, and goes back to filing her nails.
Ooh, she saw me with the unseen passage up.
Yes, the somber or spooky.
He's gonna walk past her if he can.
Oh, she's making no movement towards you. The shadows near her are dancing to her whim. The sort of thing that happen when someone nervously on the table or desk or wherever they are. That's almost what the shadows are doing. The moment you start moving past her, they grow still. She raises one brow. It's not my place. Not truly. You're not here to hurt anyone that I know, do you?
That depends. You friends with a certain Tremere?
Well, I did write the post with him, but unless, of course, we're talking about McLaren, I'm no friend to any Tremere. Technically, I'm not even friends with him. But if and when my sire decides to kill the lot of them, he'll definitely be the last.
I'm not here for him. Who's your sire?
Who's your sire? It's a fucking rude question to ask.
I'm a very rude person.
Well, you better do something about that. Unless I take an interest in you.
Here's just turning towards.
This is while you guys are upstairs.
What, Zach's still upstairs?
Yes, this is when you guys were upstairs.
Never mind that.
Well, I doubt I'm here to hurt anyone you care about, so let's just say you never saw me, and, well, if you need my services, let's say I owe you a free one.
I'll do no such thing. I'll not keep your secrets. But if no one asks, I won't tell. Off you go.
It's for me. And he's going to go about trying to find where in this building Antonio would be.
Please again, roll your wits plus insight.
Oh, that is... Let's have a look here. Man, I'm so used to the other sheet, I forgot this one's significantly lower.
No, but not invisible. But an opportunity. You can seize the moment now. There's only one. The rooms here, from the decor that you found once leaving the tunnels, are enough to furnish several different mansions several times over. It is clear this is the sort of place where people come purposely to be seen being comfortable. There's comfort for every body type, height, and weight. Where would someone of the height that was scrawled into the stonework be? Probably one of the rooms they wouldn't be seen by anyone that may have trespassed. Clearly, with a height such as that, there had to be height issues at play. Finding the room, you can sometimes roll your dexterity and stealth. You need a minimum of 5 successes.
Dex and stealth, would I be adding obfuscate?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, and would a specialty in ambushes apply?
Yes.
9 successes.
That all?
Free.
So close.
Good God.
And then you need to check one little note. All right, got in my notes. Taking a quick gander here. As the door eases closed, upstairs, Zach is turned around and begin making their way back down into the soundproof basement, quickly followed on by Seth. The scene is quiet, and Brigade is still sitting there, eyes hooded, mostly closed, filing her nails. The shadows thick and heavy about her. As you all scan the area, looking for any telltale sign that something's amiss, looking for some sign that all is wrong with the world, or that you guys have fallen prey to another trap. Dia, having agreed to the date, Frost, having flashed Dia and Dancer Dan, and vicariously agreeing to the date, you all must dress in accordance with the normal human world to not draw attention to yourselves, which quite naturally means you all need to head downstairs to find clothing and attire and finish the destruction of Ashley's body. Not leaving a job undone.
Wait, but I thought we already put Ashley's body in the grinder.
Wasn't done yet.
So, Dia, Frost, do you guys leave Dancer Dan upstairs? Do you ask him to clean the bar? Do you?
I am not leaving that dude alone.
Frost, please help our guest put away things that he took out while I change into something more pedestrian.
Yeah,
And heads towards the stairs.
I'll dress and catch up with you guys.
So, Dia, heading downstairs to begin to finish Ashley and get dressed, and you almost ran into Zach and Seth, who are standing on the stairs taking in the space. They're clearly searching and peering into the darkness, and their remaining still gives you pause. The last time something strange happened, because the floors are in fact soundproof, you can't tell what's happening downstairs until you are downstairs. The last time something happened, that was Antonio's trap being sprung. All of his quickly planned efforts coming to fruition. What do you do? What do you all do?
Please tell me there's not another trap being sprung or more surprises for the evening. What is it that you see?
I don't see anything yet. Brigitte, what you got, lass? Anything happening while we were upstairs?
Everything's happening while you guys are upstairs. Just can't figure out why. Or you all running to and fro instead of just finishing the job at hand.
I am trying to do that, and apparently I have a date the evening. A dancer down. Do you know that man?
I can't say that I do. I don't associate with the, well, you know. And what are you asking, Seth Love? Now that you've come back and all of the codes have been switched, is there something specific about?
Did anyone unwelcome happen to enter?
Oh, you mean that gentleman there? And as she says that gentleman there, the door swings open, and before he has a chance to shift from view, Muzan rises from his duffel bag thanks to its water retarding, not leaking the vitae from inside, but it's clearly heavier than when he entered.
Yes, like him.
Muzan, what the hell are you doing here?
It's for me to know and for you to not find out. But suffice to say, I was just taking care of a little problem. I'll be out of your hair soon.
Lady Senator, let me introduce Muzan of the Nosferatu. He
Delighted to make your acquaintance. Again. We've met.
Dia looks gobsmacked and like, you weren't here when we went upstairs. How are you here now? And what is in the bag?
To answer your first question, I walked. To answer your second question, just some shit I usually carry around for the job.
Does Zach notice the vitae dripping from the bag?
No, his bag is water retardant. The vitae wouldn't leak out. It would be sloshing. It would be sloshing around as Antonio desiccates inside. But other than that, no.
Senator, you know Muzan?
Yes, we've had a few interactions. They've helped me with some things for Nicole when Nicole was alive, and now apparently they have come to pay me a visit of some sort. While I'm not unhappy to see you, I'm not happy to see you. I have things I need to finish, and apparently I have a date with some.
Never happy to see me. Yes, of course I know Dancer Dan. He's one of my clan. We all know each other.
So why is he upstairs and you're downstairs, please?
Well, it sounds like he's upstairs because he loves you, and he's trying to profess his love to you.
Seth face palms, like audibly.
He didn't even know which one of us was Dia. Clearly that's a lie.
Look, I don't know how he operates. I don't know why he's trying to woo one of you people.
One of us people?
Yes, one of you.
I think he means the coterie, not any other delineation of people.
No, I was specifically referring to the roses.
Oh.
Ah.
Hey.
Something suspicious clearly going on. And I, for one, would like to know what it is.
Muzan is a specialist. He gave me the name I carry right now. He's the reason I'm a cleric.
Do you mean to tell me your name's not actually Seth? Your name's not actually McLarian? For God's sakes. The nerve of the man. Having his way with me all across Indiana. Didn't even bother to tell me his real name. You, Senator, keeps very strange company. That's much is for sure.
In a kind world, we have to change our names, Brady. Don't pretend like you didn't know that.
Having his way with you? What?
Hey, wait, whoa. Whoa.
Seth, you said
whoa.
only.
When she says that, she means I made her ride a public bus.
Oh, you made me ride something, that's for sure.
So that's what you're calling it now, a bus. Is it really that big?
Well, they're small buses too, you know.
Brigade, you are not helping. You are not helping. As in a public bus, as in we ended up in Gary and had to get back here.
Aye, it was public, sure. Yeah, I agree with that. It's far too exposed.
Steph is mortified and just face palming with both hands and elbows and whatever else he can figure out to face palm.
When we have a moment, you'll have to tell me all about it. But for now...
I've no shame. Once done is done. Let's just say that McLaren
Let's not say
was
that.
McLaren was quite entertaining. He filled
Angels of ministers are great.
my time.
Shut up. Say no more. I have to deal with this woman. She's my boss.
Aye, that's true. I can understand why you would have brought him. Not just for me, but for her as well.
Dia is blushing, like, hasn't blushed in forever, but is blushing. This is like so much tea, and you know how much Toreadors love tea. She is like, oh my god.
It's Muzan, leave, and don't tell nobody about anything you heard in the last 3 minutes. I swear to God, I'll pay you anything you need.
Remember that.
Muzan, you say? Well, I'll give you a double of that to tell as many people as you can. Trust me, you want to spread the word that McLaren there is as good as he gives. And he's very giving. Very, very giving. He's the sort that will keep you busy the majority of the night.
You great banshee, shut up! He's totally lost it. He's full deep brogue, going back and forth between Brogue and Boston, depending on who he's talking to.
So, Muzan, you've done a good job of sneaking around. Is there a reason why? Not that I'm sure you're going to tell me, but all the same, you might want to share with them. They've got a right of violent in the top. Well, he's not exactly right in the head. You see that mess? She points to the bar. That's his handiwork. He's their guard dog. So you may want to be a little more forthcoming. Lest your friend Dan be bitten or worse.
Noted. Although I was just told to leave, I thought. Looking over to McLaren.
Let him go. Muzan is doing God's work if he's silent about it.
If you'd wish.
You're right.
If you'd wish. But, Muzan, the name's Bridget. Remember, mark it. We'll probably be speaking again soon.
I'll remember it. Have a good night, folks. And Muzan's gonna take his leave. Oh, and be nice to Dan on your date. Looking to Dia. Oh, just remember, he doesn't like animals too much. If you're thinking of giving him a gift, don't get him like a puppy or anything. Just get him like I don't know, some chocolate or something.
That's not how gifts work, actually. He asked me, I should be giving gifts. I am the gift.
Well, make sure he knows that.
Spoken as only a Toreador and Nosferatu alone in a closed bar ever could. While Frost and Dan find that they have more common ground than one would expect, because during his living years, Dancer Dan received his name because he was known Dalton.
Oh.
He has the only 100% successful close rate of any law enforcement or associative department in all of Dalton's history. And remember, Dalton was also the former headquarters for the Chicago area Pinkerton for years. So detective work and hard work is part of the very fabric of the place. And while two disparate and distant members of the extended law enforcement family get to know each other, Muzan takes the stairs up and out to at least touch noses towards Dan, let them know that whatever they were there for has been successfully done, to give them an opportunity to leave if he so chose. Zach and Seth leave Brigitte to her teases, her little smirks, complete wrapping up the recycling of Ashley's remains.
Seth is studiously avoiding any eye contact with Dia or Brigitte.
And Zach is covering his face and scowling again.
And Frost is kind of like gripping his hand, just like resisting arrest, basically. Well, resisting himself, or unless he's not even down there.
As you all settle into what seems to be the closest to mundane activity for yourself, cleaning up behind the mess, dealing with the ramifications of death or violence or both, we draw close to our episode. I want to thank you all for your time, your effort in this lovely session, and I will see you guys next time. Have an enjoyable evening.